Welcome back to Posture Lab and Alignment. Welcome back to Posture Labs and Alignment Fundamentals. My name is Emma. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to go ahead and cover Virabhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2. So this is an open hip posture. Your hips will be externally rotating. Anytime we do that, I want you to focus on squeezing the glute muscles together to help the thighs externally rotate. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Lots of ways to get into this. I'm going to show you from standing, and then I'll also show you from downward facing dog. I'll show you from the side and from the front so you can see what it looks like. Now, we're going to come to the top of the mat standing. Bring your hands onto your waist. You're going to shift the weight into your right leg. I want you to take a big step back with your left foot, almost 4 feet. Spin your left heel down. Now, your left foot, your back foot is spun down on a 90-degree angle pretty much. The outer edge of that back foot is lined up with the back edge of your mat. I want your front heel to line up with your back arch. So if you need to adjust your feet, go for it. So right heel in line with left arch, 90-degree bend in my right knee. I'm going to let the tension build here. Try not to grip the mat with your toes. Press down more through your right heel and the outer edge of your left foot. Now reach your arms in opposite directions. A lot of times people will reach more with this front arm, so reach evenly with your arms. Think wrists over ankles. Now I want you to look down and see if you can see your right big toe. If not, your right knee needs to go more out to the right. Think about squeezing the glute muscles together. That will help externally rotate your thighs here. Pull your ribs in. A lot of times I'm seeing people with arch backs sticking their butt out behind them. Tuck your tailbone, pull your ribs towards your hips, and reach in opposite directions. The shoulders are hugged up to the ears. Relax them down. Reach evenly through your hands and steady gaze over your right fingers for 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and bring the hands to the hips. I'm going to have you turn your right toes in and left toes out to face towards the back of your mat, and we'll do it on the other side. So now line your left heel up with your right arch. Bring your hands to your waist. Again, squeeze the glute muscles together to externally rotate your hips. Try not to stick the butt out behind you. Tuck it under and pull your hips up towards your ribs, ribs down towards your hips. Reach your arms in opposite directions. Steady gaze over your left fingers. Try to make your fingers nice and active. Reach evenly through your hands. Look down. Can you see your left big toe? If not, left knee more to the left for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, straighten your left leg. Bring your hands to your waist as you turn your left toes in and gradually step your feet together. Now that wasn't the most graceful way to get into it. Usually it will be in a sequence, but we're just kind of going over the alignment today. Let's go ahead and do this from the front, just on one side. So I want you to see how the heel lines up with the arch. It's very helpful if you have a mirror where you're practicing, or some people have lines on their mat, depending on the brand. So you're going to step 1 foot back. Let's do left foot. I'll do left foot. Put a big bend in your right knee. Your right heel is lined up with your left arch, and you have a big bend in your right knee. Avoid gripping the mat with your toes. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Reach your arms in opposite directions. So what I see a lot of times, people sticking their butt out, it's easier this way. You want to tuck your tailbone underneath you. A lot of times people flaring their ribs out, tuck the ribs in. You'll see the right heel is lined up with the left arch, 90-degree bend in that right knee. So I can't really see this hip over the knee. This is all parallel with the mat. Evenly reach with the arms. And then from here, you can always go into a reverse warrior. Flip your right palm, reach your right arm up and back as you walk your left hand down your left thigh. The legs stay exactly the same. Reaching up and back, looking up, and release. Let's go ahead and straighten the right leg, turn the toes in, and somehow maneuver your way out of it. Feel free to pedal out your legs. This is a great pose to strengthen your thigh muscles. You're constantly squeezing your glutes. You're working your core, always in a yoga pose. To me, Warrior 2 is a lot harder than Warrior 1, but for you it might be different. Let's go ahead and get into this from downward facing dog. I'm going to go ahead and do the left side just to keep it even. Let's go ahead and take an inhale. Exhale, I want you to step your left foot directly between your thumbs. So not towards the left thumb, directly in between. Now spin your right heel down. So your feet should already be pretty much set up. This would be a helpful time to have those lines on your mat. Now put a big bend in your left knee. So basically all you have to do is windmill your arms up. Maybe adjust your feet. Never feel like if you got into the pose wrong, you can't adjust it. You're not stuck there. You can always adjust your feet, adjust yourself so that the alignment is correct at the end. If you got in a funky way, that's okay. Just adjust it and make do. Now tuck your ribs in, squeeze your glute muscles together. Try to reach evenly with your arms. So also reaching with that back arm and then looking over your left fingers. Feel nice and strong. And then from here, you might go into that reverse warrior, flipping your left palm. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach up and back. Your legs stay exactly the same, and I'm not putting a lot of pressure into this backhand, so I'm not just flopping back. My body's still nice and active, and this is a very challenging pose if you do it correctly and with intention. Now, we'll windmill the hands back to the mat. As I do that, I roll onto my right toes. Step my left foot back to meet my right in a plank or downward facing dog. All right, you guys. That's about it. That's kind of all I've got for Warrior 1. There's, of course, lots of options, especially in a vinyasa class, to make it a little bit spicier. You could potentially, lift your front heel up, and that's going to work into your calf. You could do some bends and straightens to work into your front leg. That reverse warrior is a great option. Always different things with the arms, whatever you choose. There's not always one right or wrong way. But the main takeaways I would give you here would be squeezing your glute muscles towards each other. So think about squeezing the butt to externally rotate the thighs. The more you focus on those smaller muscles or the muscles where the movement originates from, the easier the pose is going to feel. After you do that, try not to flare your ribs out. Tuck your tailbone and tuck your ribs in. So think not like a duck butt, not sticking your butt out. No one's checking you out. Maybe you are, and it should be in the mirror, so over your front hand. Reaching evenly with your arms. That's pretty much all I've got for your Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Make sure to come back next week and we'll be covering Virabhadrasana 3.